Hello there and good afternoon. Isn't it strange that now Brexit looms, our MPs at last want to get involved in actually running the country? After decades of just blindly following EU diktat, it now seems that our MPs are starting to take an interest in getting involved in managing the affairs of the UK. We recently heard of Scottish, Welsh and Northern Irish MPs suddenly talking about the devolution of powers repatriated from the EU to the UK, when in the past the EU did it all for them and they had no sight of any of it and just let it happen. Now the International Trade Committee of MPs has called for Parliament to be given a say on all future trade deals post-Brexit. In setting out its case, the committee said, "The UK is set to begin negotiating its own trade agreements for the first time in 40 years. These agreements have the potential to affect every part of every UK citizen's life, from the quality of the food we eat to the money in our pocket." These MPs were quite happy to leave the suddenly now oh so important decisions to the EU in the past. Those EU trade decisions have directly affected every part of every citizen's life, from the quality of the food we eat to the money in our pocket, for years and years, but not a squeak from these MPs back then. They were quite content to take whatever deal came out of the EU machine. Or was it the case that those decisions were far too important to be entrusted to mere MPs? Hence our massive reliance on services and the erosion of manufacturing, hence the huge trade deficit we have with the rest of the EU, etc. Anyway, that's shortly all going to be in our EU-controlled past. The UK does need a functioning system for setting up and monitoring trade agreements so that they deliver for the UK. I'm not saying that we should try to be advantaged over other nations through them, because those sorts of agreements don't last long. What I'm saying is that the agreement should satisfy the needs of both parties involved on a long-term and sustainable basis. So although it's a little irritating that those MPs weren't demanding more say on these matters in the past because of the EU-centric view of most of them, it is heartening to see them now just starting to rise to the challenge of our post-Brexit era. MPs may now be identifying those long-forgotten political muscles long atrophied from the disuse imposed on them by EU membership. But we need the right people in Parliament to do these emerging important jobs. And that's where the electorate needs to rise to its own unique challenge of electing the best person to do the job of representing them in what will once again be the highest lawmaking body in the land, the truly sovereign UK Parliament. Voters need to look past the colour of the rosette. They need to look more closely at the actual candidate involved. Voters need to take the two-party state blue on blue scaremongering talk and see it for what it really is, campaigning by Project Fear, and take it with the very large pinch of salt it deserves. Let's get rid of those who cast about for the EU rubber stamp and get some real UK-backing high-flying decision-makers into the halls of Westminster and get this country rocking and rolling. Anyway, what do you think? Please leave a comment below and thank you for watching.